Have you ever let a fleeting moment of anger ruin your entire day? A cutting remark, a rude comment, and suddenly your emotions take over, throwing you off balance and leading to words you later regret. Why does anger make us feel so out of control? More importantly, how do we reclaim that control? The Stoics believed your mind, not others or circumstances, is the true battlefield. They taught that real strength lies not in shouting louder, but in choosing not to react. Embracing calm over chaos, refusing to surrender your peace to those who don't deserve it. This video will show you how to never let anger or frustration control you again, not by suppressing emotions, but by transforming how you respond. You'll master time-tested Stoic techniques to pause before reacting, detach from pointless triggers, and command your emotions like a warrior of the mind. Struggling with anger isn't weakness, it's human. Every man has faced rage and disrespect, but few rise above it. This is your moment to change. If you're tired of being ruled by your emotions, this is for you. Like this video, subscribe for more Stoic strategies, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their peace. Because when you embrace Stoicism, you don't just control anger, you become unshakable, and that changes everything. First, see emotional outbursts as habits you can unlearn. You weren't born angry. You weren't born snapping at drivers, slamming doors, or replaying arguments for hours. Those reactions, which now feel like instincts, were learned over years of stress, pride, and a world telling men to be tough, loud, and dominant. But true strength isn't noise, it's silence. The most powerful man in the room doesn't flinch, doesn't roar back, and doesn't let petty slights steal his inner peace. Anger isn't just an emotion, it's a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. But first, you must see it for what it is. A chain reaction you keep feeding. A driver cuts you off. Your boss belittles you. Your partner says something sharp. And before you think, your mouth fires back. That's the cycle. Most men stay trapped in it their whole lives, believing it's just who they are. But the Stoics saw it differently. They didn't view anger as a trait. They saw it as weakness in disguise. Epictetus said, "Any man capable of anger is its slave." Harsh but true. When you react blindly, you hand power to what provoked you. You become predictable, manipulable, and emotionally drained. Now, picture this scenario. You're waiting in line at the DMV for over an hour. Someone boldly cuts in front of you. Anger surges, your chest tightens, jaw clenches, and you're ready to snap. That moment is your battlefield. You can fight the same losing battle or pause and ask one simple question: does anger make this better? You know the answer. You've lost your temper before. What did it gain? More stress, regret, and distance from the man you're striving to be. This is where Stoicism shifts everything. You don't need to suppress emotions. You need to step outside them. Observe your emotions like clouds passing across the sky. Acknowledge them, but don't let them steer your actions. Your rational mind is the driver. That's the strength Stoics honed through discipline. Most men believe their anger is justified. Proof they care, and that calm equals weakness or indifference. But that's a lie. Anyone can get angry. It's the easiest thing to do. True discipline, maturity, and strength lie in staying calm when the world tries to shake you. When someone disrespects you and you refuse to let it rattle you, that's real dominance. When life throws chaos your way and you stand firm, that's control. So, the next time anger flares within you, what will you do? Pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, this anger is a habit, and I don't have to carry it anymore. Then walk away, not out of weakness, but because you're strong enough to not waste energy on the unworthy. You're not here to be provoked. You're here to reclaim your power. That starts not with the world changing, but with you responding differently. Act like a man who masters his mind. Respond like a Stoic. Second, master yourself instead of trying to control others. It's easy to yell, lash out, or storm off when you feel slighted. That's what most men do. When they feel disrespected, they react to regain some sense of power. But that power is an illusion. It burns hot, fades fast, and always leaves you weaker than before. True control doesn't come from overpowering others. It comes from mastering yourself in the heat of the moment. Anger lies to you. It tells you that if you don't react, you're weak. That if someone pushes you, you must push back harder. That silence is surrender. But think back. How many times has anger actually solved anything you yell? They yell louder. You prove your point, but lose a relationship. You win the argument, but lose sleep over what you said. In the end, you're drained because you never truly took control. You just reacted on instinct. Now imagine you're in a meeting at work. Your boss unfairly criticizes your idea in front of the team. Even arrogantly, you feel the heat of anger rising. Every part of you wants to fight back, defend your honor, shut down the critique. But something stops you. A voice inside says, if I snap back now, it'll only get worse. So you pause, breathe, and say, thanks for the feedback. I'll review it. Then you move on. Later, in private, you address it with clarity, not emotion. That's self-mastery. That's strength. That's Stoicism in action. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Stoics didn't let ego lead. They chose controlled responses, clarity over chaos. They knew what many men still don't. Trying to control others is a losing game. What you can always control is how you choose to show up. Many men think silence is weakness, that walking away diminishes their manhood. But recall the last time someone lost their temper in front of you. Did you respect them more? Or did they lose credibility? Anger shouts, but respect whispers. When you stay calm under provocation, you become untouchable, and that calm unnerves others far more than any outburst could. The Stoic path doesn't mean you never speak. It means you choose when and how. Driven by reason, not rage. By delaying your reaction, letting emotions settle, you create space for wisdom. That space lets you make clearer decisions. You preserve your dignity. The next time someone disrespects you, don't take the bait. They may act small, but you stand tall, not out of fear, but because you choose not to be swept into their storm. You rise above, not for them, but for yourself. That's true control. It's not about who gets the last word, but who keeps their calm until the end. Start today. Don't try to control the room. Control your breath, your words, your expression, your energy. You'll walk away from every conflict with something most men never have: unshaken dignity. Third, build your calm like a muscle through daily practice. You can't expect to stay composed in chaos if you've never trained in stillness. Most men overlook this. They wait until they're angry, insulted, or overwhelmed to try controlling themselves. But emotional strength doesn't switch on command. It must be forged, cultivated. It's built in quiet moments when no one's watching. Just as your body won't grow strong without consistent exercise, your mind won't stand firm under pressure without daily training. Self-mastery isn't a toggle, it's a skill you sharpen. Picture a man who's never lifted weights stepping into a gym and trying to bench 300 pounds. He'll fail. Your emotions work the same way. If you haven't practiced pausing, breathing, and enduring discomfort instead of reacting, you'll crumble when life hits hard, not because you're weak, but because you're untrained. Now, imagine you're home after a long day. Your kid spills juice on your laptop. Your instinct to snap flares up, but something's different. You've trained for this. Instead of exploding, you pause, breathe, and say, "Let's clean it up." That moment feels small, but it's not. It's a rep. It's strength in action. Stoicism isn't a philosophy for monks on mountaintops. It's built for real life, for soldiers, leaders, workers, fathers, men surrounded by pressure, noise, and conflict. It teaches that peace doesn't come from isolation, but from training your mind to hold steady in the storm. Wake up early to reflect. Journal your thoughts before bed. Choose silence over sarcasm when provoked. These aren't empty rituals, they're workouts for your soul. Most men wait for a challenge to prove they're calm. But that's backward. You must prepare beforehand. Build habits to sharpen focus. Deepen your breath. Heighten awareness. Because when pressure hits, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of training. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily about what challenged him and how to respond better tomorrow. Not from weakness, but to grow stronger. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that discipline starts not with grand gestures, but with mastering daily thoughts and emotions. They practiced calm as a habit, not a fleeting reaction. If you want to stop being the man who loses control when things go wrong, become the man who prepares before they do. Sit with discomfort instead of chasing distractions. Notice your breath when you want to snap. Reflect for 5 minutes at day's end. These aren't small actions. They're your emotional weightlifting. No one is born a Stoic, and no one wakes up with perfect self-control. But the man who persists, repeats, and trains becomes unshakable. That calm is built like anything else through effort, practice, and time. Don't wait for the world to test you. Challenge yourself daily. The man who trains his mind in quiet will triumph when the noise arrives. Fourth, let go of what doesn't serve you. You planned your day perfectly. Early workout. Work done. In control. Then, traffic hits. Someone cancels a meeting last minute. Your boss dumps extra work on you without warning. Your frustration surges not because of the events, but because you resist them. You're not angry because things changed. You're angry because you expected them not to. But life doesn't care about your schedule. It doesn't ask permission to shift. The more you cling to how things should be, the more you suffer. That's not weakness, it's attachment. Unchecked attachment becomes a trap. A man who needs everything to go right to stay calm will never know peace. Letting go isn't giving up. It's recognizing what's not worth holding. It's learning to distinguish between what you can control and what you can't, no matter how tightly you grip. Stoics knew this better than anyone. They didn't waste energy on traffic, rude people, or altered plans. They saved it for what matters: their character, their thoughts, their reactions. When something disrupts your day, don't react yet. Step back. Ask, is this in my control? If not, don't fuel it with your attention. Let it pass like a bad storm. You're not ignoring it. You're choosing not to drown in it. That's not denial. It's discipline. Many men think control means forcing the world to bend to their will. But real control is adaptability. Power isn't making the world obey. It's staying calm when it doesn't. Stoicism isn't passive. It's precise. It's not about stopping caring. It's about stopping wasting energy on what you can't change. Picture yourself in a parking lot. A stranger backs into your car, leaving a dent, then shrugs it off like it's nothing. You want to rage, demand justice. But after the first wave of anger, you pause. Ask, will anger undo the dent? Will it make them care? No. So you file the claim. Stay calm. You preserve your energy and drive away, not just with a dented bumper, but with your dignity intact. That's how you act. That's victory. Not because you let them off, but because you didn't lose anything beyond a piece of metal. They didn't take your peace, your sleep, or your strength. You hold on to what matters: your peace, your strength, your clarity. Stoic power isn't loud or clinging. It's in letting go. In that release, you find true control. Start asking yourself more often, is this worth carrying in my mind? If not, drop it. The man who chooses what to carry and what to leave behind doesn't rage at every storm. He walks through chaos with calm, clarity, and unshakable resolve. Fifth, turn conflict into a test of your character. You can't avoid conflict, not while you live. Work, connect, or build something meaningful. Someone will challenge you, misunderstand you, belittle you, or push your limits. That's life. But most men react to conflict emotionally, seeing it as a threat to their pride. A moment to win or prove something, they tense up, raise their voice, and try to dominate. In doing so, they miss conflict's true nature. It's not a threat to your power, it's a mirror reflecting it. Conflict reveals where you still lack control, where ego still pulls the strings. Stoics saw every confrontation, every insult, every injustice not as a problem, but as a chance to practice. They believed life constantly offers you opportunities to train your mind by refusing to be dragged down by noise. Imagine you're at a hardware store checkout. You wait patiently while the clerk helps another customer. Then someone behind you cuts in, waving their receipt, demanding service first. They're loud. Eyes turn to you. Your heart races. Jaw tightens, ready to erupt. But you don't. Instead, you step back within. You ask, what's really at stake? My time, me ego, or my inner peace? In that moment, you choose not to submit, but to rise above. That's not weakness, it's controlled strength. Many men think staying calm means surrender, that not reacting lets others walk over you. But letting emotions rule you, that's the real loss of control. A Stoic doesn't dodge conflict, he just doesn't let it own him. He speaks when needed, but with clarity, not the fire of rage. The more you treat each challenge as a test, not of who's right, but of who masters the moment, the stronger you become. Conflict stops being a battlefield and becomes a training ground. You stop wasting energy on petty arguments. You stop letting small people shrink your world. Marcus Aurelius lived this. He ruled an empire, faced betrayal, war, and politics, yet kept his calm. He didn't chase revenge, he chased integrity, knowing each encounter was a chance to practice self-mastery. Not just sometimes, but every day. Men who live this way don't just survive conflict, they walk through it unchanged. So, the next time someone provokes you, try this. Instead of snapping back, stay silent. Instead of proving a point, protect your energy. Instead of letting their chaos become yours, be the calm they can't reach. Not to show off, not to be liked, but because you've trained to rise above what doesn't deserve to bring you down. You're not here to react to every slight. You're here to sharpen your character. Every moment of conflict is a chance to do just that. Respond with mastery. That's how you win. And each time you do, you prove something greater than dominance. You've conquered the toughest battlefield yourself. Sixth, live in the present, because your imagination fuels your anger. It's not the moment that enrages you, but your mind racing 10 steps ahead or dwelling 10 steps behind. You're not angry at what was said, but at its implied meaning, what might happen next, or what it says about you. That noise in your head, it's the root of most of your suffering. Until you learn to stop living in the past or future, you'll keep losing control in the only moment that matters. Men rarely admit this, but it happens constantly. A car cuts you off just 3 seconds of annoyance, yet in your mind, you replay it for 30 minutes. You imagine confrontations, shouting, proving who's boss. You carry that weight into your next call, meeting, even dinner. The moment's gone, but your mind drags it like a chain. That's how small things become heavy burdens. Stoicism cuts through that mess like a sharp blade. It reminds you that you only have now no insults, no imagined outcomes, no history to fix, just your breath, your actions, your choices. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to return to the present whenever his mind wandered. He told himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that guide what you do, say, and think. Not tomorrow. Not after winning an argument right now." The trap is believing your thoughts are truth. Just because you think it doesn't make it real. Most of what you react to isn't real. It's imagination. An unchecked mind creates enemies that don't exist and arguments that never happen. Try this. You're about to face someone you don't like. You're braced for conflict, expecting disrespect. That tension isn't from their words, it's from the future you've built in your head. Pause. Return to now. They might say something rude, or they might not. Either way, you'll handle it better with a clear mind than a cluttered one. That's why mindfulness isn't just spiritual fluff, it's a tactical edge. It keeps your head sharp when instinct craves chaos. You don't need hours of meditation to get it. Just notice your breath, your posture, the sounds around you, the feel of your feet on the ground. When your mind starts spinning stories, pull it back. Train it like a muscle to stay here. Now, that stops you from overreacting to what hasn't happened. You stop reliving what you can't change. You stop rehearsing what doesn't need saying. You respond from presence, not anxiety or fear. That's where your calm lives. That's where your strength resides. You can't control the past or future, but you can master the present. If you can master the present, even for a few breaths, you're not just practicing Stoicism, you're living free. That's a power no one can take from you. 7th, release the weight of resentment before it ages you. Resentment doesn't just poison your mind, it wears down your body. You've seen it. A man looks exhausted despite rest, walks heavily with no load, flinches at kindness because he's used to betrayal. That burden isn't physical, it's emotional. Holding on to anger, blame, or bitterness drains your energy, clarity, and ability to feel lightness. Most men don't even realize it's happening. They think they've moved on because they stay silent. But silence isn't healing. Just because you don't speak it doesn't mean it's not shaping how you talk, trust, or live. The grudge from 5 years ago still weighs on your shoulders as you sleep. That's why Stoics saw forgiveness not as a moral duty, but as self-preservation. Letting go isn't about approving what happened. It's refusing to let it keep controlling you. Every bit of resentment you hold steals your present peace. No one deserves that power over your life. Not even the person who hurt you. Epictetus said, "You may chain my feet, but no one, not even Zeus, can subdue my will." That's forgiveness, not condoning or forgetting, but refusing to be chained inside. Recall a time someone crossed a line, lied, walked away, or shamed you in front of others. You swore you'd never forget, and maybe you haven't. But each time you recall it, your stomach knots, your energy fades, your peace slips away. That's not strength, it's self-torment. You're reliving their wrong, while they've long forgotten it. That's the trap. Thinking holding on protects you, when it only weakens you. Stoics didn't see anger as armor. They let it go like a flame in their hand, knowing it burns the holder most. Forgiveness doesn't mean trusting them again. It's clearing space in your heart for something better, lighter. It starts with a choice. Stop feeding the story of what they did. Every time you replay the pain, you deepen the wound. So don't rehearse it. Protect your energy instead. You're in a break room. Someone throws a sly jab. You know it's a cheap shot. You could fire back. You could carry it home. Vent to a friend. Let it spin in your mind until midnight. Or you can smile, not out of weakness, but because you've stopped carrying burdens that aren't yours. You breathe deep, walk away, and leave the weight behind. That's not passivity, it's controlled strength. When you let go of resentment, you'll feel it in your stride, your sleep, your clarity of thought. Forgiveness isn't a gift to others, it's a gift to yourself. Release it not for them, but so you stop dragging the past into your present. Your future is longer than your past. Make room for it. The man who lives lightly walks faster, breathes deeper, and thrives freely. You can be that man if you choose to shed the burdens. Pause for a moment before reacting. It changes everything. A single word, a sharp tone, a careless remark, and you're halfway to raising your voice or slamming a door. By the time you realize you're angry, the reaction has already taken over. That's how most men live, on autopilot, triggered by the outside, pulled by inner tension. But in that fleeting gap between the spark and the flame lies your power. Stoicism begins in that stillness, the space between what happens and what you do next. That's the real battlefield, not the argument or insult, but the tiny moment where you choose, will I react, as always, or respond, as the man I aim to be? Most don't see that space. Emotion outruns reason, but once you notice it, you'll see how much control you have and how often you've given it away. Imagine you're at home. Your teenage son talks back. His tone and glare sting. You're about to snap, but something holds you back. You take a breath and say, I'll address this in a moment. That choice is power. It's not silence from fear. It's deliberate restraint. You've just broken a cycle that repeats in millions of homes, and now you're forging a new one. The mistake is thinking a quick reaction earns respect, that hesitation signals weakness, but those 2 seconds of pause give you clarity. You give your mind time to process, decide, and prepare. That's what Stoics trained for, not to lack emotion, but to master its timing. Marcus Aurelius didn't say to feel nothing, but to act only when it serves a greater purpose. And that purpose often starts with silence. We live in a world that demands instant replies, texts, retour, self-defense. But emotional discipline isn't about speed. It's about precision, saying the right thing at the right time with the right tone. You can't do that if adrenaline speaks for you. Pause. Breathe. Name the emotion before it becomes regret. No years of meditation required just one choice. When pressure hits, stop. Tell yourself, I don't need to react yet. Step to another room. Take 10 deep breaths. Ask, what outcome do I want? Only then speak or act, not from ego, but from will. The Stoic man isn't cold, he's clear. Not slow, but steady. He doesn't suppress emotions, he directs them. In that quiet moment, he sees clearly the consequences, the opportunities. He steps into both with a steady hand. From now on, see every tense moment as your training ground. When your heart races, face flushes, fists clench, don't act yet. Let it settle. Then decide how to master it. The man who masters the pause doesn't just win arguments, he conquers himself. And that's a victory worth choosing again and again. Now you see, you're not a prisoner of your emotions. You're not bound by anger, resentment, or the need to react. What the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, lived by is that calm isn't a gift, it's earned through discipline. Self-control isn't about denying emotions, but mastering them. Peace isn't weakness, it's strength forged in silence. We've explored how anger is a habit you can break, how true power comes from self-mastery, and how emotional resilience is built through daily choices. You've learned that letting go isn't defeat, it's wisdom. Staying present is your strongest defense against stress. And every tense moment offers a window where your character is shaped. This isn't just theory, it's your life. It shows in how you treat your spouse, hold your ground in meetings, and rise above the noise to stand firm in your values. Every moment is a chance to practice. The more you train, the more natural it becomes. That's how you stop being swayed by every provocation and become unshakable. I challenge you to start today. Train your breath. Guard your words. Master the pause. And build a mind that no external force can rattle. If this message resonates, share your story in the comments. What recent moment tested you? What did you learn by holding back? We grow by reflecting and lift others by sharing, because, in the end, the man who masters his thoughts, reactions, and energy masters his life. That's the enduring strength of Stoicism.